Well, welcome everyone. This is another presentation that we have today for the Open Data Day. And I'm very glad and happy to have my colleagues, Kendrick and Vishal Bakshi, to share about all the work that they are doing on data governance. You can imagine that in the city, there is a lot of information. We are a large enterprise. Several services are running at the same time. Several groups within agencies are doing and working with data. And it's quite challenging to manage all that. So I think the tasks that Christine, Vishal are working on, and in addition to some other team members, is huge and is very impactful too. So I'm very happy to share what they're doing here. And with that, I'm going to let them introduce themselves first, and then they have a short presentation. Christine?
Thank you so much, Hector. We're happy to be here with you all today to share out about our work. My name is Kendrick. I'm the Data Services Manager with the Smart City PDX program in the City of Portland's Bureau of Planning and Sustainability. Vishal?
Thanks, Christine. My name is Vishal Bakshi, he, him. I'm the Rescue Plan Data Analyst, also in the Bureau of Planning and Sustainability.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to open our presentation. And today we are talking about data governance at the City of Portland, including why we need it, how we're building it, and Vishal will also talk about some examples of how data governance impacts city services. So first, I'd like to share a quick overview of what the Data Services program does, which relates to why we need data governance. As Hector mentioned, the City of Portland has a lot of different data investments and teams working on this, and this can lead to some fragmentation in our data teams, siloed data, and those investments. So our program is providing people with support services, governance tools, and open and transparent information products. We want anyone, internal or external to the City of Portland, to feel supported when they're using information to inform their decisions or evaluating services, projects, or programs. And we do this through several different projects, one of which is citywide data governance. So often with data investments, the focus is on the more visible aspects of modern data management. Dashboards, data visualizations, and those are really important pieces and tools that we can use to share information. But there are a lot of hidden elements of this work, including governance, technology infrastructure, and services support to people, like helping collaborate and design reporting and effective reporting measures. So when we can actually implement this full spectrum of all of these elements, that's when we can get data to truly become a community asset. And we, the city as an organization, can close the loop and better use the data that we collect to inform that next decision and do it with transparency and accountability. So data governance is at the base of that modern data management iceberg. It's about improving access to good quality data in secure ways. It helps deliver essential services as part of better government. And we can't address community and leadership priorities if we don't manage and maintain data as assets. City data governance work first began as a directive from the 2016 Open Data Ordinance. And then over the past several years, we've had a data governance planning and analysis team with staff participating from 10 different bureaus and offices. We've been incorporating lessons learned to identify a simplified, centralized committee approach that can fit our changing structures, but also our urgent data management and data governance needs. So in practice, having city data governance in place means that everyone that interacts with city data feels supported to do their work or participate in their services, whether that's working with us on a grant or a contract or accessing a service that you need and for your daily life, where you have to have some exchange of data and information, and you want to trust where that's going and why it's being collected. Some other examples is that when we need to make responsive decisions for urgent priorities, We need leadership and staff to have access to multiple data sets. We need time to integrate that data and create analyses to show impacts across programs. So for a lot of analysts right now, the current state might be your majority of your time is spent on researching methods and identifying tools, and you're cleaning data and you're building pieces that are getting you ready for that analysis, but then you have a smaller amount of time left on analysis. So with data governance in place, we want to flip that state and reduce missed opportunities for collaboration. Okay, so how are we going to implement city data governance? One piece of this is our city data governance committee. It has several purposes, and just as we manage other city assets, we must assess the condition of our data, set values and behaviors for managing it, and be accountable to manage and maintain these assets. So to help do this, a committee will be adopting policies, guidance, and best practices with a citywide focus. So this means behavior with data and data issues that impact all bureaus and offices. This allows us to identify and optimize minimum best practices and create alignment so that we can improve coordination across silos, make data more accessible and transparent, and use staff time resources more efficiently, and also help make us be more responsive partners to communities as well. There are several work priorities that we've identified, and this comes from that data governance planning and analysis team, plus other city data projects and teams where we've gathered input to identify some initial work priorities. These will help get us moving quickly and create some tangible results with the City Data Governance Committee. We know there will always be, we need ways to identify additional work priorities, and urgent needs are going to change different things. So this will be an iterative process to create a roadmap and keep looking back at what our work priorities are as well. The other idea is that some of these initial work priorities are things that have about 75 to 80% of the work complete. So now we can bring them to the committee, work on the last bit of development, and move pretty quickly to adoption stage. This type of model is trying to recognize that we need to use committee staff member time most wisely. We can now rely on our new data governance analyst that started just now in 2023, and other staff to do a lot of the groundwork and heavy lifting. It also recognizes that we want to pull in existing knowledge that community members and city staff have already shared with us through various engagement and evaluation processes, and we want to recognize that information that's already been shared and take action on it. So our City Data Governance Committee is a simplified, centralized committee structure supported by a core team. We have urgent data needs, and as I just mentioned, we also have to be very purposeful with people's time. There's one member and one vote per each bureau and office, and this includes council offices. And the reason we went with this model is, again, going back to data governance being so foundational, the bottom of that modern data management. We need all teams participating. It also supports exchange of knowledge from bureaus that might be further along in their data management to those that are just starting out. Our voting procedures are guided by the need to move quickly on this work, again, to respond to urgent data management needs. And we have an initial 2-year investment of staff support for this work. So we want to show tangible results on a pretty quick time scale. We've also identified some flexible and creative ways and pathways to build out engagement with the public and also bring in other groups of staff. So recognizing different subject matter expertise and experiences are going to need to be brought in at different decision points to make sure we get as best information and engagement as possible to improve the products that are going to come out of this committee, but we're also still acknowledging committee and engagement fatigue that our partners are experiencing. So we want to make sure that work is effective and meaningful as well. The last thing I'll note about our structure is that a bureau or office may choose not to participate at this time. We are going to continue to move forward with the work, but we're open to onboard at any time if a bureau or office changes their mind or their capacity to participate changes. So who's in the committee and that surrounding support structure? Voting members, as I mentioned, there's one for each bureau and office, and they have been appointed by a bureau director or council member, and they have the authority to make data and technology decisions and recommendations on behalf of their bureau and office. Each voting member is committed to bring information back and forth between the committee and their bureau or office. We want to make sure decisions and votes in the committee represent and align with bureau and office needs and the community needs that have been gathered to inform that. Non-voting members are staff with specific subject matter expertise in civil rights compliance, information security, and information technology architecture. These are areas of work that intersect with effective data management and will need additional knowledge to inform decisions at different points. So non-voting members help consult and answer questions, and they're going to flag additional information that we need to consider to share out and integrate into the work. And the core team is a group of city staff led by our new data governance analyst, who is really there to help make sure committee members are supported in the work, to make sure we're able to implement that connection and outreach to have community involvement, and also to make sure that we can deliver efficient and tangible results in this work. So right now, the current work is focused on getting the committee set up and running, but in the coming months, we'll start off with a website page, and then we'll begin to utilize those additional work groups, focus groups, and other creative outreach pathways to bring more staff and community members into the work, and again, improve the deliverables and the results of these efforts. So now I'm going to hand it over to Vishal to talk about some examples of how data governance impacts city services.
Thanks, Christine. We can start with the next slide. Thanks. So the people and data processes set by the Rescue Plan Data and Equity Strategies team allow us to ensure Rescue Plan data usability, integrity, and privacy. We provide Rescue Plan project teams with a number of data and equity resources, such as data standards, an equity and civil rights compliance survey, and office hours for qualitative and quantitative data submission. The standardization of data submission then allows us to engage deeply with the community to produce public-facing data products, such as our Rescue Plan Open Data Portal, which was designed in collaboration with the Smart City PDX community leads cohort. Next slide. Then a second element that we are working on is our data team sandbox. So our Bureau of Planning and Sustainability Tech Services and Smart City PDX data team consists of 4 data analysts, 2 developers, 1 data governance analyst, 1 data services manager, that's Christine, and 1 project manager. And we have weekly stand-up meetings, which then lead to work sessions and discussions in a dedicated Teams channel, which finally results in best practices being documented for current and future analysts. So this model has been flexible enough so far to evolve over time as our team has grown rapidly in the past few months. And it also has opportunities to continue improving this model as to meet our team's evolving needs over time. And with that, I'll hand it back to Christine.
Thank you, Vishal. And thank you, everybody, for listening to this portion of the presentations. It is really an exciting time right now in Portland, where there's a lot of interest and support from community members, from city staff, and city leadership in improving management of data and how we use data and provide access. So hopefully we could come back in another year and share out even more examples of how data governance is affecting and improving city services and lots of different related projects. And one last note is that, as the city of Portland prepares for a new form of government, the citywide data governance work, and then our work to make sure we're applying and implementing data governance and learning from it and going back and improving it is all in alignment towards our work to move towards an improved, coordinated future state of local government. So Exciting times, and thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Christine, Vishal, for sharing all this information. I just have one quick question: how people can reach out to learn more about these projects?
Yeah, I think right now I would just encourage folks to reach out to our Smart City PDX at portlandoregon.gov. Email is the best place for now. We will have a website soon in the coming kind of weeks and months so that folks can find information online that way. And then as we do develop work groups, focus groups, and some of those opportunities where we can actually be in conversation with each other, we will absolutely do additional outreach before an event like that happens, or an opportunity to make sure folks have information they need to come and participate. And again, plenty of notice before we have some of those types of events set up.
Fantastic. Well, reach out to Smart City PDX at portlandoregon.gov. And thank you again, Christine, Vishal, for sharing all this information, and congratulations for all the good work that has been done already. All right.
Thank
So with
you.
this, well, we close this presentation. Thank you so much.